As a leader, you're constantly thinking about how to build the perfect team, right? A team that's high performing, that's always learning, and is just perfectly in sync. But what if that team wasn't made of people at all? Today, we're exploring that new frontier, building and managing a team made entirely of AI. So, let's dive in. Really think about it for a second. What if you could just design your ideal team? One where every single member is a specialist, they're perfectly equipped for their job, they have instant access to all the right information, and they have a memory that never ever fails. Sounds like a fantasy, right? Well, with AI agents, it's actually starting to become a reality. So in this explainer, we're going to walk through the literal blueprints for your new AI workforce. We're going to break down the huge strategic decisions you'll need to make, how your team's going to be structured, what tools it'll use, how it's going to think, and crucially, how it's going to learn. And that brings us to your very first decision as the architect of this whole thing. It's a big one. Are you going to hire a single brilliant generalist who can just do it all? Or are you going to assemble a specialized squad where each member is an absolute master of their craft? Okay, this slide really lays out that first choice perfectly. On one hand, you've got the solo consultant, or a single agent architecture. This is awesome for those straightforward, self-contained tasks, like summarizing a big report. It's quick, it's efficient. But for more complicated stuff, like, say, testing a new software feature, that's where the specialized squad, the multi-agent approach, really shines. You can have one agent just read the specs, a second agent write the tests, and a third one run them. It's a division of labor that lets you tackle way more complex problems. So once you've landed on your team structure, soloist or squad, the next logical step is to give them what they need to actually get the job done. Because let's be real, an agent without the right tools and connections is, well, it's pretty much useless. And this slide right here shows a key piece of that puzzle, the Model Context Protocol, or MCP. The USB-C analogy is perfect. Just think about it. Instead of building a custom connector for your calendar, and another for your email, and another for your internal databases, MCP creates one universal standard. This makes it ridiculously easy to just plug any agent into any tool. It's an absolute game changer for building and scaling your AI team. Okay, so if MCP is the universal plug, then skills are the actual tools it connects to. These are the specific, concrete actions your agent can take. An agent can think all at once, but skills are what allow it to do something. So for an agent working in quality engineering, its skills might be run test suite or read Jira tickets. These are its core abilities. They're the verbs in its vocabulary. All right, so our team is structured, they've got their tools, but a team that can't think or learn isn't very effective, is it? This brings us to the most powerful part of this whole endeavor, making them genuinely intelligent. And the key to this intelligence is a concept called Agentic RAG. Now, RAG stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. But like the quote says, that word agentic is what makes it so special. It's the difference between a dumb search bar that just fetches documents and a smart analyst who actually thinks about the best way to find an answer. It doesn't just retrieve, it investigates. So how does it actually think? Well, let's walk through these steps. Let's say you ask it, what were our top escape defects in Q1? A simple system just searches for those keywords and might give you something totally irrelevant. But an agent using Agentic RAG first decides on the best place to look. Then, after it finds something, it validates it. It asks itself, does this data actually answer the question about Q1 defects? And if the answer is no, it doesn't just give up. It researches, maybe trying a different database or a new query. See, it's an iterative, intelligent process. Thinking is one thing, but learning, that requires memory. To build a truly great AI team, you can't have them starting from scratch with every single conversation. They need context. They need to remember. And just like us, AI agents have two kinds of memory. Short-term memory is like a computer's RAM. It holds all the context of the current chat. But long-term memory, that's the hard drive. It stores key information from past interactions. Think about a customer support agent. If a user comes back days later with a follow-up, long-term memory is what stops the agent from asking, "Who are you again?" It can just pull up their entire history instantly. But hey, just like our own memories, an AI's memory can get cluttered, and that's why managing it is so important. This is where memory hygiene comes in. Write control is basically being picky about what's worth saving. Duplication is, well, not saving the same fact 10 times.
Reconciliation helps it sort out conflicting info, like if a customer moves. Amendment is for updating old facts. And my favorite, purposeful forgetting, is about actively deleting outdated data to keep the agent's knowledge sharp and relevant.
Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. We've talked about structure, tools, thinking, and memory. Now, let's put all those pieces together and look at the complete blueprint for your AI agent strategy. So here it is, the whole shebang in one place. These are the 4 strategic pillars you really need to nail. First, what can your agents connect to and what can they do? That's your MCP and skills. Second, how are they organized? That's your soloist versus squad decision. Third, how do they solve problems intelligently? That's all about Agentic RAG. And finally, how do they learn and grow over time? That's where memory comes in. Mastering these 4 pillars is the absolute key to building an amazing AI team.
And that brings us to the final question, the one I want to leave you with. Now that you have the blueprints, you're the architect. So, what kind of team will you build? Will it be a single, hyper-competent consultant or a whole squad of collaborating specialists? The choice is yours.